What's up, YouTube? My name is Ty, financial professional. Welcome to my channel. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. This finishes at $12.11 today. That is down 9.29%. So we've been covering this stock for the past month, ever since this initially squeezed, and it's been an epic journey so far. So this went all the way from the low of $4.40 up to the high of $30, which was over a 580% upside. And then Ryan Cohen took a giant dump on all the apes. We had a week of massive pullback. It was a falling knife, went all the way back to the $8 range. But in the past few days here, this has been recovering because of some good PR. Last week, the company announced that they received a $400 million loan. So there were fears of a possible bankruptcy. The company's not going to go bankrupt. Don't have to worry about that anymore, for now at least. There are also rumors of a BBBY spinoff. Just speculation right now, but a lot of apes think that's going to happen. So a lot of buying the rumor there. And tomorrow is the big catalyst, the strategic update, where the company is going to tell all the investors about their big plan to turn the company around. So we'll see what happens. This is going to be epic tomorrow. This is either going to go really, really good or really, really bad. No in between. So the apes are either going to be driving Lambos or applying for Wendy's tomorrow. So just be very careful at this point, guys. This is a straight up gamble, not an investment. This was number 2 on StockTwits today. Had over 5,400 mentions. So once again, we're going to analyze it. All right, let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, we have a cup and handle in the making. Bottom of the cup being the low of $4.40. And there can be multiple possible tops. It can be $30, $31.70, $39.30, $40, $44.55, or the high of $53.90. Although I do believe the most realistic top would be $30. But those are all bullish indicators that is telling us that the stock should come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. Here we have a bull flag developing. Pretty unusual looking bull flag because the flag is just huge here. But that's a bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock may break out to the upside. And then we have a double gap down. First gap down is back at 1620. So that's a bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back up to 1620 to fill that gap. And the second gap down was back at 2245. So another bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back up to 2245 to fill that gap. And those gaps will either fill in the short term if the stock continues to squeeze, or we have a dead cat bounce, or they should fill in the longer term when the stock has its day again. In the aftermarket here, this is running up to 1235. So if this aftermarket action holds, that would be a bullish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow, the stock will run to the upside. And then we have a double gap up. Pretty hard to see here, but the first gap up is back at 830. So that's a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back down to 830 to fill that gap. And the second gap up is back at 650. So another bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back down to 650 to fill that gap. And those two gaps should fill in the short term. Here we have a head and shoulders developing. Back here was the first shoulder. The high of 30 was the head. And recently in the past few days, the second shoulder is developing here. So that's a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock may break out to the downside. Here we have an ascending channel. Right now the upper channel is around 16 and the lower channel is around 1150. So the ascending channel is currently a neutral indicator, but if this breaks 16 to the upside, that would be bullish. And if this breaks 1150 to the downside, that would be bearish. RSI is currently at 53, so pretty average there. According to the RSI, the current price of $12.11 is around fair market value. Maybe it should be a little bit lower. And down here on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, the MACD line and the signal line are pretty parallel right now. So the MACD is currently a neutral indicator. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of $12.60 and $12. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be $12.60, $12.95, $13.40, $13.80, $14.20, $14.50, $14.90, $15.30, $15.65, $16.20, $16.65, $17.10, $17.50, $17.80, $18.05, $18.35, $18.55, $18.90, $19.30, $19.65, and then $20.15. There is resistance above $20.15, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be $12, $11.70, $11.25, $10.90, $10.55, $10.15, $9.65, $9.40, $9.20, $8.85, $8.55, $8.15, $7.95, $7.50, $7.15, $6.95, 665, 640, 610, 585, 550, 520, $5, 475, and then the low of 440. So right now at the current price, 12.11, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 7.15 to the downside, the channel starts to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 7.15 to the downside. And this did 107 million in volume today, which is way above the average of 13 million. So this sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. And this is less volume from yesterday, so it does appear like momentum is cooling off. The squeeze may be winding down and coming to an end here. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So once again, this has been an epic short squeeze so far, and it's not over just yet. So I'm very happy for the apes who are in the green here, but at this point this is very, very dangerous stuff. Just be careful guys. Again, this is a straight up gamble right now. So yeah, big catalyst tomorrow, and there's going to be some crazy price action. There's either going to be a whole lot of celebrating tomorrow or a whole lot of screaming manipulation. So I sure hope this continues to squeeze to the upside tomorrow. Rooting for the apes. But honestly speaking, I kind of have a bad feeling about this. Generally speaking, when it comes to a big known catalyst like this, the stock tends to sell the news. Not all the time, but most of the time. It's when the breaking news comes out is when the stock pumps. So I am kind of expecting a sell the news event tomorrow. And realistically, what do you really expect them to say? Maybe some layoffs, store closures, some information on BBBY, investing in their e-commerce business. So unless something absolutely crazy is announced tomorrow, I really don't expect this to moon to the upside. But I sure hope it does. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, personally, I would not do that. And I would not recommend that. It's not necessarily a bad play, just too risky for my liking. Again, in the short term, this may come back up to 22.50 to fill the gap there. And from the current price of 12.10, that would be over an 85% upside potential. So huge upside potential here in the short term. And again, in the short term, this may come back down to 6.50 to fill the gap there. And from the current price of 12.10, that would be over a 45% downside potential. So a pretty good amount of downside potential here in the short term. So I would say going long at the current price, 12.10, would be a high risk, high reward play. Not really worth it in my opinion. So if you guys want to gamble, go ahead. Just be very careful. It would definitely have to be for a quick scalp. Get in, get your money, get out. If you do manage to make a profit, hit the sell button. Diamond hands is not the way. Make sure you set your sell orders and your stop losses. So pretty risky, but it can pay off pretty big. But honestly, if you're a bit patient here, again, this should come back down to 6.50 to fill the gap there. And I think that would be an excellent entry. A much better entry than the current price of 12.10. So from 6.50 up to 22.45, that would be over a 245% upside potential. So massive upside potential there in the longer term, and really shouldn't go too much further to the downside. It's near the low of 440. So I would say going long at 6.50 would be a low risk, high reward play. Definitely worth a shot in my opinion. A way better play than gambling right now. So I can't support going long at the current price, 12.10. Again, just be very careful guys. If you want a really good entry, I think going long at 6.50 and lower is the move. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short now, financial advice, it seems like a pretty decent play at the moment. Just a bit risky, because you may get squeezed out. But the current price of 12.10 is a very average entry, according to the RSI. Again, in the short term, this may come back up to 22.45, which would be over an 80% upside potential. And again, in the short term, this should come back down to 6.50 to fill the gap there, which would be over a 45% downside potential. So I would say going short at the current price, 12.10 would also be a high risk, high reward play. I do like going short here better than going long though. So the price action might get a bit crazy in the next few days here, but as long as you're able to withstand the upside pressure, this should eventually come back down to 6.50 to fill the gap there, and that should be some pretty fat tendies on the downside. And if you don't want to go short at the current price, 12.10, I don't blame you. It's not the best entry. So if this does squeeze and moon to the upside, I think 22.45 would be an excellent entry on the short side. And from 22.45 down to 6.50, that would be over a 70% downside potential. So I would say going short at 22.45 would be a low risk, high reward play. Definitely worth a shot in my opinion. And again, I would cover at 6.50 where the gap is. So whether you decide to go short here at the current price, 12.10, or wait for a better entry, either way, you should be able to make some massive tendies to the downside here. So I can't support going short either here at the current price, 12.10, or 22.45, although 22.45 would be a much better entry. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow, guys. Good luck to everyone. Stay safe, guys, and make sure you take your profits. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on The Smarter Gambling Show. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.